Yeah, we've been riding for hours and hours.
We'll be stopping pretty soon now, children.
Yeah, it'll be another camp like that place we stopped last summer when we worked in the cannery.
This is the patch. People live here, some people. Those who can't find anything else. Wanderers, the dispossessed. But so long as there's hope, people will go on, looking for something better. Maybe even becoming part of a community.
Looks like a town up ahead.
This is Fairview, an American town. Our town, perhaps your town. Neighborly and friendly to visitors. We've got so many things to offer. Comfort, health, freedom, fine school, fine churches. We think Fairview is one of the best towns in this part of the country. Good stores, up to the minute. Real progressive businessmen, and plenty of civic spirit. Yes, we've got leadership. Take Ken Keeler, our leading lawyer. A good citizen, good churchman. Kind of fellow we look to when we're in trouble or have a community problem.
Oh, hello, Monty.
Good morning, Ken. Say, what's this about sticking those Patchtown kids into the Fairview school?
That's true. I've just been talking to the state education department.
But they can't do this to us.
That's what you think. Look up the law. We're the nearest school.
It'll ruin our school, Ken. It'd ruin Fairview. The town won't stand for it. Boy, are we going to have some hot meeting of the community council tonight.
Good. Maybe we can stir up something. Doc Miles says that Patchtown would be a menace to health, but I don't know whether we can make it stick. There are a lot of angles to this, Monty.
I only see one. Stop it.
The Patch people have some rights.
Sure, they've got a right to hit the road and get out of here. I'm going over to see Colonel Garnett right now and start pulling some wires. I'll see you, Ken.
So long, Monty.
So long.
This looks like a real nice town.
Let's stop here, Ma. Let's have a home.
Don't you know we're pea pickers? We don't have a home.
You stop that, Arla. Baker, stop, Ma.
Must be lovely people here.
Hello, Bill.
Oh, hi there, Ken.
You know, this is getting to be quite a street.
Yeah, this town is growing.
That new road's sure helping.
You bet. What we're getting now are some people who want to spend some money.
What's the matter, Paul?
Oh, some spark plugs, I think.
What's a spark plug?
Go on, get it out of here. Get going, keep on going. That's what I'm aiming to do, officer. These migrants are driving me cuckoo.
Yeah, they're getting to be quite a problem.
You can say that again. Most of our trouble comes from migrant camps over in the slum area in Mill City or in the patch right here in Fairview. You know, since they opened that factory, the migrants are coming into the patch. If they'd only keep on moving, it'd be okay. They want to settle down.
See you at the meeting?
Sure. Listen. If you want that patch cleaned out, just let me know.
Well, I don't know. Put your back into it, Ned.
Son, get in there and hold that.
Twister, run the other way. I ought to know how to set our own, Jack. Let me help you. Try it now.
You got it real good.
Oh, hello, Dad.
Hello, Kenny. Having trouble?
These tires don't last forever.
We all have our troubles, I guess. My car's laid up entirely now.
Is that so?
Passing through.
I guess so.
I just wondered how you happened to break down here. It's a little off the usual track.
Public street, ain't it?
Oh, well, I didn't mean... Well, is there anything we can do to help?
Not asking for help.
Well, now, the car is a little warm. We could use a little water, mister.
Water? We got 1 million gallons of it.
Oh, yes, all you want. Kenny, help us.
Thank you. Nathaniel, get the bucket.
Gee, that's a swell bucket. Come on.
Mighty pretty place you got here, mister.
Well, we kind of like it.
We had a home once. Same color.
But a little smaller, Ma. Remember?
We're mighty thankful to you, mister.
Oh, what for? We haven't done anything.
Ain't everybody so nice to strangers? We're supposed to treat everybody like ourselves. Not many folks heed it.
Well, I guess that's because people...
You've treated us real kind, and we appreciate it.
Oh, that's all right.
Anytime you want water, we got plenty of it. I suppose you got lots of running water in your house, too. Sure, haven't you? Well, we don't have a house. We live in a tent mostly. A tent? Yeah. Gosh, I'd like that. And sometimes we don't even have that. You mean sleep out under the stars? Golly, I went camping with the Scouts last summer, and we slept out. Oh, it's great. Yeah, well, it's all right, but I hate to get rained on at night. Hey, can you play ball? I play a little. We got a team, the Redskins, and we need a shortstop. You want to play? I don't know. I couldn't. Why not? Well, we don't live here. Where do you live? Well, we don't live anywhere. We just travel around. Well, golly, tell your father you want to stay here. We got a swell bunch of kids. Think I'd better go now. I got an extra minute you can use. Hey, the bucket.
What's cooking?
Meat pie?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to start the coffee?
Yeah.
Water's already in. Stop it, Ken. You know what you'd say to the children. Anything new today, dear?
Nothing except they're going to assign the Patch kids to the Fairview school. Town's up in arms about it. We're going to take it up at the meeting tonight.
I hope the town doesn't do anything to hurt those poor people in the patch.
No. It's a question of protecting our own interests. How soon do we eat?
In a few minutes. Kenny's around somewhere, and Malcolm will be home soon.
I suppose Sally will get home eventually.
Of course, this is her afternoon at the settlement house. She'll be home soon.
For Pete's sake, I wish she'd get around to meals. She's always off on some project to save the world.
She takes the world seriously.
I hope the world appreciates it.
Ken, you know that young church group of hers has a real concern about social problems.
Maybe so, but these young people should learn to be practical.
I wish Malcolm had half her feeling for the rights of others.
Malcolm's all right. He's just at that age when a young buck thinks he knows it all. He'll be more human as he gets older, I hope.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, honey.
Dinner ready?
Getting it ready now, dear.
You look all tuckered out.
You know about the community meeting tonight, dear.
Oh, sure, Mom. I'm representing the youth group.
We want to get Fairview to do something for the people of the patch.
Did you know they're definitely going to put the Patchtown children into our school?
Yeah? Over my dead body.
Oh, don't tell me the poor dear Fairview children are going to be exposed to any unrefined influence.
Now, that's more foolish talk. You don't seem to know what this means. Overcrowding, dirt, impetigo, and lice. People are very upset about this.
I suppose you mean people like Colonel Garth.
I certainly do.
You're always so concerned about what the right people say.
But what's wrong with the right people?
The so-called right people are usually wrong. Wrong and selfish and mean. And you know it.
I don't like the attitude of some people any better than you do, Sally. All I ask is that you behave like a proper member of this community.
Oh, no. Not that. I'm sorry, Dad. You're a pretty good egg.
You'd better get ready for dinner now.
Okay, Mom.
For the love of Mike, what goes on around here anyhow?
Are you ready for dinner, Malcolm?
What was that junkie that pulled away from the front of our house?
Some people had a flat tire.
Why do they have to pick our house? And what are people like that doing around here anyhow?
I'm sure I don't know.
It was embarrassing. Lolly Mitchell drove me home in a convertible, and she said, "Who's that, your uncle or something?" And there was Kenny waving goodbye to him. I'd like to give him a kick in the pants.
I'd like to give you one.
Now, that's enough. Kenny, Sally, you sit down. Now bring dinner.
You go along, honey. I've got to sit on the platform.
Ken,
Oh, hello, Mary.
you know, I'm not going along with you on this patch business. And a lot of the other women of the church won't either.
Well, I appreciate your viewpoint, Mary, but I've got the welfare of the town to think of.
Hi there, Ken, old boy.
Hello, Pete. How are you?
Ken Keeler, meet Dave Harley. You've heard me speak of Dave.
Oh, yes. Hi, Mr.
How do you do, Mr. Keeler? Dave's going to be with us here in Fairview for a while.
Well, you'll find Fairview a pretty good place to live, Mr. Harley. Just average American folks. Meaner than all get out. Of course, we think we're a little better than average.
Dave's on a mission here, Ken. His territory is this whole corner of the state.
Mission, eh? You're taking a poll or promoting a new brand of toothpaste?
Oh, no, nothing like that. I'm assigned to do a community job.
Well, maybe you could give us some help. We've got a job to do right here. Say, are you the Harley my daughters are always talking about?
Oh, of course, Sally Keeler.
Yeah.
She's a great girl. Always on the side of the angels.
Some of her ideas are beyond me. Look, we've got some people coming in. Why don't you both come over to the house after the meeting? Both of you.
We're glad.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Question addressed to Dr. Miles. Is Patchtown a menace to the health of Fairview?
Of course it is. Garbage goes any old place. The sewage disposal is primitive. A family might come from 200 or 300 miles, bringing diphtheria or typhoid.
And how about the Patch children coming into our school, Doctor?
Well, naturally, these contagious diseases and infections could spread like wildfire. We know that these people in the patch need help, but their presence is a real menace to this community.
Matty Gare.
The doctor has given us fair warning. I'm sorry for these people, but it's the children of Fairview we have to think of. I think we should pass this resolution.
Mrs. Lyons.
These children would badly overcrowd our school and increase the class load of every teacher at least 25%, and seriously impair efficiency.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Lyons.
Yes, Sally. Miss Keeler?
Couldn't we hire more teachers? That would cost money and increase taxes. Besides, we don't have room. We'd have to build an addition. And I guess you all know what building costs.
Just a moment, please. Miss Keeler has the floor.
I represent the church youth group. You know as well as I do that half the kids in the patch don't get to school. We feel they don't have a decent chance. We want to let them in our school, even if it does cost us something. I think it's terrible what we're doing. It's unfair and it's very unchristian.
All right, we've had various views. Now there's a man here tonight I think we should hear from. A leading citizen of our town, Colonel Garnett.
Thank you. These are noble sentiments this young person just expressed. But I think we should take a more practical view. We built up something fine here in Fairview. Something I'm sure we all want to keep. I have, shall we say, a vision. That ugly, blighted area we call the patch. I see it gone, erased, and in its place a lovely park with beautiful trees and flowers and grass, where mothers can bring their babies, where the children of Fairview can play.
What would Colonel Garnett do with the people of the patch?
Oh, why, I'm sure they could find a better place. No, I think we should resist this plan to demoralize our schools. Mr. Chairman, I call for a vote on this question.
All right, I'll read the resolution. Resolved, that since it would be injurious to the best interest of this community to admit non-resident children to our school, and since there are certain aspects to this problem of a health and moral nature that we deplore, we instruct our attorney, Ken Keeler, to take all necessary steps to alleviate this threat to our welfare.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to amend the resolution to instruct Mr. Keeler to investigate the entire situation thoroughly before acting.
I accept it, providing Ken reports back to us in 2 weeks with a specific plan.
All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed?
No.
The motion is carried. All right, folks, back again 2 weeks from tonight. The meeting is adjourned. Ken, you've got a job to do, and I think it should be done without delay. Get rid of the patch, period.
What do you suggest, Monty? An atom bomb?
I don't care what you use. Burn the shacks, knock the whole place apart, but get it out of there.
But after all, Monty, they're people.
For me, they're pigs. Besides, the patch is a breeding spot for communism.
Oh, they're people, all right. They just don't live by the American standards.
What do you call the American standard, Dad?
Well, to live decently, to observe the ordinary laws of sanitation, and to have some self-respect. Anybody can do that who really wants to.
I think you're right. If they didn't like it, they wouldn't live that way.
Why, do you think they like being miserable and sick and hungry?
I came here as a boy from Germany, an immigrant. I had nothing, just the clothes I wore. I worked hard, I saved my money. Now I've built up a little business in Fairview.
But didn't you have the will to succeed, Matty? And a belief in yourself? You might even say a faith.
Yes, that's the American dream. Anybody can build a decent life for himself who works hard, believes in himself, and does the right thing. I came of a poor family, too. We struggled, worked for something better.
And because you did all right, then everyone who doesn't is just no good, huh?
I didn't say that.
Mr. Keeler, this American dream that you speak of, the opportunity and the will to build a good life, do you think it's something that should be taken for granted? Don't you think, rather, that it's a cause, perhaps, for which we should strive and fight?
Well, yes. The people in the patch aren't even trying.
Oh, you're so blind. What do you know about them? You never see them. Wait, how long has it been since you even set foot in the patch? I dare you to go and look at it. Why don't you go and see for yourself?
Now, Sally.
Why, everyone that's a real success is an American to you. And everybody else is just nothing.
Listen, America is a free country.
Oh, I'm so sick of your speeches about America. How great it is and how free it is. What about the millions of people who are poor and hungry and sick? What do they know about your American dream?
Nothing, and neither do you.
What are you doing for them? What are any of you doing for them? Nothing. You sneer at them and you call them pigs. Oh, you think you're so superior, all of you. You go to church and you sing your hymns and you congratulate yourselves on being such wonderful Christians, such real Americans. Well, your dream is a fraud. It's hypocrisy. And so is your Christianity. Don't you see? You're just hypocrites.
Well, really?
No wonder people become communists. They just can't stand the way you so-called Christians, you so-called Americans behave.
Perhaps America isn't good enough for you.
It certainly is not. Not your kind of America. Not nearly.
Monty, I think we'd better go home.
Come on, Matthew.
Good night. Good night.
Good night, Kim.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Now, don't take this too seriously. By the way, I may need a little help from you. You see, my job is to try to keep this American dream alive.
Well, here she is. Ain't much of a house.
I think it's a nice house.
I think it's a real nice house, too.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, you're welcome to it for a time anyhow. Can't say for how long. She's got a pretty fair roof on her, but the timber's no good. You're moving in at your own risk, you know.
Yes, that's all right.
The kids from my church had a spook party up here last week. I don't know how anybody would want to live in it. I really should tear it down.
How much would a house like this cost with a little piece of land?
Ain't for sale. I'd make myself mighty unpopular if I sold to you folks. The town of Fairview don't want no more people buying into the patch.
Oh.
Well, I guess I'll be going on. If you come up to my place for anything, sing out. My dog don't like strangers. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. It does look nice, don't it, Arla?
Pa, bring in the trunk.
The trunk? You mean you want me to unpack the trailer and take out the trunk?
Yes.
We might only be here a few days.
Bring in that trunk. I want to unpack every last thing we've got in it.
What for, Ma?
We're going to make the most of this house while we've got it.
What are you planning?
We're going to live like folks should while we can. We're going to lift up our heads. We might even go to church.
Good morning, Ken. Park anywhere now. It'll be okay.
Hello, how are you? How's your mother?
Gee, Mom, look at all the pretty ladies. There's Kitty, Pa. Hey, Kitty! What?
Good morning, Ken.
Hi, Monty.
Alice?
Good morning, Monty.
Well, Sally, I am glad to see you. I was afraid you had given us up as a bad lot.
Oh, I'm sure she didn't mean it that way.
Hello, hello there, Kenny. How's that baseball team?
Oh, it's getting better.
Oh, that's good.
Ma, do you really think we ought to go?
It's a church, Arla. Everybody's welcome.
Love to, dear. Wonderful. I think we ought to go in.
Good morning, folks. Just in time. I think the service is about to start.
Come on, Pa, let's go in.
We're going in, Ma?
I don't know.
We better go home, Ma.
I guess all the seats are took.
Ain't that music pretty?
Come on, Ma, let's go home.
Well, if we ain't going in, we might as well go home.
Hypocrites, unchristian toward the people of the patch? For I was an hungered, and ye gave me meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me drink. What was it Monty said?
Drive them out. Burn them out. Get them out of here.
I was a stranger, and ye took me in. Naked, and ye clothed me.
These are noble sentiments, but I think we should take a more practical view.
I was sick, and ye visited me. In prison, and ye came unto me.
But I've got the welfare of the town to think of. It's a question of protecting our own interests.
Well, your dream is a fraud, and so is your Christianity. It's hypocrisy. Don't you see you're just hypocrites? Why don't you go and see how those poor people live? Why don't you go and see?
And so Ken Keeler went off on a mission. On a mission to the patch. Why? His legal duty? Maybe. Conscientious fellow, Keeler. Hurt pride? Could be. He was only human after all. But it was also something else. Something planted deep within him long ago by his parents, in his Sunday school, by his church. Ken was the kind of fellow who had to like himself, to be able to live with himself. You see, he wasn't only human, he was Christian. And so Ken Keeler went to the patch, looking for a dream, the dream of freedom and decency that America had always stood for.
Well, hello, Harley. What are you doing down here?
Now, this is a likely place to find me, Ken. Nice of you to come. I knew you wouldn't pass judgment on Patchtown without coming down to see for yourself. Well, what do you think of it?
All I can see is a wound.
Yes. And the problem isn't what to do with the patch, but what to do about the wound behind it.
I don't get you.
Well, Ken, we're all in this. You and I and the whole country. The patch is only one manifestation of the national sickness. I'd like to show you the bigger picture.
Well, I don't know.
Ah, come on.
All right.
To see the picture, Ken, you've got to understand that America's on the move. Half its families have changed houses. Gone from the farms to the cities. Come north, gone south, shifted west. Maybe 70 million of them, chasing jobs, chasing rainbows. Many of them uprooted spiritually as well as physically.
You mean people like those in the patch?
People and families. This is bigger than the days of the pioneers when they pushed westward, ever westward, searching for something better, beyond the horizon. Now here it is again, the 20th century, and people moving, restless, searching, pressing toward the unknown.
Become of them?
There are some of them. Look out there.
Migrants?
That's right.
I understand they make pretty good pay. That is, when the whole family works.
Sometimes, but it adds up to a poor life. Wherever they go, they're strangers, without voice or vote, not really a part of the community. These people are stateless, Ken. They're displaced persons, and this isn't Poland or Germany. This is America.
But I don't understand these kids working. They ought to be in school.
Yes, they should, but they're migrants, strangers. They don't feel welcome in the local schools, and often they aren't. There are many other places in this country where the mainstream of life has rushed on, leaving eddies and pools in its wake. Why, there are rural areas in this country without a doctor, without a teacher, without a minister. Thousands of others with no library, no recreation places, almost nothing of what we regard as culture and consider essential to our lives. Yes, Ken, this too is America.
To the America I knew. What's happened to the dream?
The dream? The dream is dying, Ken, because we're losing that which gave it life. Dying not only in migrant camps and patch towns. Let me show you another kind of a slum. Come on. Look at this. 3 months ago, this was a pasture. Now look at it.
There must be 1,000 homes there.
Houses, not homes. These people have been spiritually uprooted. 40, 50 million people move into communities like this all over the country. Lovely houses, aren't they?
Yeah?
Do you see a church?
No.
You won't. This, too, is a patch town. The wound is there as long as the church is not. To many of these people, the American way of life is becoming a pagan way of life. They're losing the spiritual basis to the American dream.
How do you mean?
Where did your American dream come from? From the Christian belief that the individual has rights and freedom and dignity as a child of God. It is a solemn obligation of every Christian to make that dream come true.
But how can we do that?
Through the pioneer outreach of the church. The church is at the forefront of these new frontiers, bringing Christ where there is chaos, endeavoring to revitalize that dream. We call it home missions.
I always thought that had something to do with Christmas baskets.
No, it's a mission to America. We've got to change conditions, Ken. But to do that, we have to change people. Christ changes people, and through people can change communities and remake the world. Let me show you how we're trying to do this. We're attacking tremendous barriers, Ken. Worse than the days of the pioneers. Barriers of suspicion, hate, and fear. Mountains of exploitation and injustice and prejudice. And tomorrow I'm going down to Capsville to try to mediate a strike. And down at Friendship House, where we're going, we have a project in race relations. We're trying to build a community out of a slum.
No, Diane. Now try it this way. And let me show you.
Why, it's Sally.
Yes, she's the church. Wherever you find Christians bringing faith into the lives of others, there's the church. That's the miracle of it. Let me tell you of another miracle. In another place where there were 1,000 houses without a church. That is, without a church building. You see, there were people who carried the seed of the church within them. First, they gathered in barns to worship. Then went from door to door asking for help to build a church with their own hands. That seed within them would not be contained. It grew out of a barn. Grew into one of the most magnificent churches you've ever seen. That's what we call church extension. And it's a name that means a dynamic Christianity, extending itself to meet the needs of our time. Christianity rising to meet its challenge. But unfortunately, such miracles are few. Most of the 70 million souls on the move in America have lost their church in transit, lost their moorings, lost the substance of the American dream. Ours is a mission to America, Ken, to try to change conditions like those in the patch, and to change people. But we have another mission, to change people who have forgotten their fellow man, who have forgotten that the American dream must be lived by each of us if it is to endure. Well, I guess we're at your house.
Oh, Harley, I'm sorry. Here, let me drive you home.
Oh, no, that's all right. I've got a job to do in this neighborhood. Goodbye. I hope I've helped you find that dream.
Goodbye.
Thanks for putting up with me.
hurry up. Don't be afraid. Gee, what a keen bat. That for me?
Oh, no, you don't. That's for the Church Indian School in Arizona.
Ah, gee.
They're very poor, Kenny, and they need our help.
Nathaniel doesn't have a bat.
Oh, this is Nathaniel.
Nathaniel, meet my mother.
Hello, Nathaniel.
Hello. My sister, Sally.
How do you do, Nathaniel?
Hello.
Here, you give me that before you put your name on it.
Hello.
Hi, Dad.
Hello, Dad.
Hi, Kenny. Why, hello, Nathaniel.
Hello.
You boys been playing ball?
Practicing. Hey, can I have $1.25 for my allowance? We need a new bat.
I guess so. How are your folks, Nathaniel? Did they find a place to stay?
They're in that cabin back of Rita's place at the edge of the patch.
Why, that place isn't fit.
We've got a real nice house.
Well, that's fine.
The roof don't hardly leak at all. Doesn't Nathaniel say the most comical things sometimes?
Where do you go to school, Nathaniel?
Us kids don't get to school much. You're going to Fairview school, that's where you're going. Oh, no. They don't want me in no school.
But you're going to join my Sunday school class, aren't you, Nathaniel?
Oh, no. No, I couldn't.
Oh, I wish you would. You'd be very welcome.
Come on, kids. We've got some milk and cookies in the kitchen.
Oh, wait, come on, Nathaniel.
Come and see us, Nathaniel. Come often. We're glad to have you, son. You run along, get your cookies.
Boy, feel that grip. Sure feels nice.
Kenny?
Hi, Kenny. Hi. This is Nathaniel. He's going to be on our team.
Who says so?
Why, Tom, we only got 8.
What's your name, kid?
Nathaniel Ashby.
Where do you live?
He lives in a house. Where do you suppose? I live in a house. Yes, I do.
Wise guy, huh?
Oh, no. He's a nice guy. He's my friend.
What'd you say his name was?
Ashkin?
Ashkin.
Don't you call me that.
Suppose he does. What'll you do?
That's not my name. My name's Nathaniel.
Nathaniel.
Nathaniel. You put it out for me. Can't you give a guy a chance?
Well, okay.
Nathaniel's a friend of mine. If he doesn't play on the team, I don't. So make up your mind.
Hey, what's the fuss?
You keep out of this, Malcolm.
Who's this guy?
Friend of Kenny's. Yeah, his name's Ashcan.
Hey, you're that migrant kid. Go on.
Cut it out, Malcolm. I'm going to tell Dad.
Beat it, you, and don't let me catch you around this house again.
What's the trouble?
I don't know. What is it, Kenny?
Dad, Nathaniel was here, and the kids there are so mean to him. And they called him names. And then Malcolm came, and he chased Nathaniel away. Oh, I hate Malcolm.
Where's Malcolm now?
There he is. Hi, Mal.
Hi, honey. Slide over. Malcolm? Yes, Dad? Come here. Okay. Just a minute, I'll be back. Yes, Dad?
Get in the house.
But, Dad, Margie's waiting for me.
Get in that house. It was a mistake. The boy's welcome at our house. I told him so. What I say goes in that house.
We haven't been able to do what we should for Nathaniel, but he's a good boy.
Of course he is.
Oh, we know he is. We like Nathaniel. Kenny thinks the world of him. Oh, we're so ashamed.
I wouldn't take it so hard, miss. Perhaps it was all for the best.
I'd like to know how you figure that.
We have to endure a lot of things in this world. We have to learn to face hardships.
I didn't know until Nathaniel told me that you were living in a place like this.
We like it real well here. We only hope we can stay.
You mean you want to stay here?
It's the best home we've had in quite a spell.
Folks would only leave us alone.
What do you mean?
Well, there's talk of folks coming down from Fairview to burn us out.
Oh, I don't think anybody...
Be just like them.
You see, Mr. Keeler, we'd like to settle down and become one of the community. If Pop could only get a steady job.
Oh, it's so rotten. It's so unfair.
What are you talking about, miss?
Oh, you folks, needing so much and Fairview doing nothing about it or worse. It's this way all over America. Why, it must be. It almost makes me ashamed of being an American.
Now, Sally.
I won't let you talk like that, miss, about America. It's a wonderful country, and don't you forget it. America is where a body counts for something. Every one of us, no matter how humble. Let me tell you something. There have been times in wandering around the country when I've been a little discouraged. When our son Ezra died, things looked pretty black. But a young man came from the church, a minister to us migrants. He told me that God cared, that I was to bear up, love my neighbor, and do my part. All the strength that came from God, so that I could get love in my heart and go on.
Oh, but we were the ones who were wrong.
I'm afraid you're a little discouraged just now. We all get that way. We must try a little harder, pray a little harder, and then we see things straight again. And we realize what a wonderful country this is. I don't suppose there's a country on earth where there are so many good, kind, neighborly people who care about a body. We don't always see them, but they're there.
I want to help. I want to give you a check.
You can't take no check, Mr. Keeler. We haven't earned it. I'm not taking charity, thank you.
Oh, I didn't mean it like that.
We're Americans, Mr. Keeler. Christians. We're going to stand on our own 2 feet. Oh, I'm sure you meant it kindly. I thank you anyhow.
Oh, if there's anything we can do.
Yes, there is something you can do, Mr. Keeler. Down here in the patch, folks feel pretty bad about Fairview people. Think you're against us. We're holding services down here Sunday afternoon. If you could come down and worship with us, they'd get to know you and know there are good people in Fairview, Christian people.
I doubt if I can.
Now, friends, we're gathered together to worship Jesus, as other people gather in his name all over the world and have for 20 centuries. This is the fellowship of Christians in the worship of God.
I'm very happy to be here with you. I hope you'll have services every Sunday.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
And now we have a little surprise for you. Someone who doesn't live in the patch. Mr. Keeler, I believe these folks would like to have a word from you. Mr. Keeler belongs to a fine church in Fairview and has been good enough to come to worship in our church today. Do you have some message to bring us from your church, from your community?
I didn't expect. What I mean is, well, I'm very glad to be here with you at your service. Because, well, after all, we are neighbors. Neighbors.
You know, we moved to Fairview because we were told it was exclusive.
So?
Well, let's keep it that way.
Well, look what happened to the Wilcox girl. She went for a walk near the patch and those hoodlums chased her.
We've got to get rid of the patch. This thing is getting worse all the time.
Say, Reader.
Well, hi, Chief.
You got some folks living in that old cabin back to the woods?
Why, yes, there's a family living back there, just temporary. Why?
I heard different. A fellow by the name Ashby. He was talking to Marty Feldman today about a job, a permanent job. Says he wouldn't mind staying. How do you like that?
Well, you can't blame him for that.
You wouldn't want to set yourself up against the will of this community, would you, Reader?
Why, no.
I got a suggestion to make to you. Come on over to my car.
We're gathered here tonight to hear a report from our good friend, Ken Keeler. A report dealing with a menace that threatens all of us. I know that we have selected the right man to handle this, and I'm sure that he will come up with a solution that we'll all approve. My friend and yours, Ken Keeler.
Thank you. The patch is a menace. We have every reason to be afraid of it. Afraid of its dirt, its disease, afraid its children will infect our children, lower the standard of our school, our standard of living. But I think there's something we should fear much more than that. Something within ourselves, our selfishness. Oh, I have it as much as any of you. The feeling that we're better than these less fortunate neighbors of ours. The fear that they may somehow take from us the things that we have, our comforts, our luxury.
What is this?
Where is your report? I know what you expected of me. You wanted me to wall off the patch, its people, and all people like that, with a wall so high that we people of Fairview could feel safe. But you can't do that. I've come to see that we were wrong.
Mr. Chairman, we sent Mr. Keeler on an errand.
Sit down.
Let Ken talk.
I told some of you a week ago that the people of the patch had forgotten the American dream. And in a way, I was right. Many of them have. But I tell you now that unless we help them find that dream again, with its promise of freedom, of dignity for all men, we're in great danger of losing it ourselves. I was afraid it was gone, and I started out to find it. And I found it in places you'd least expect. In the slums, in the heart of a migrant woman, in the eyes of a forlorn child. And what was it that was keeping it alive? It was the Spirit of Christ working in the hearts of men through the outreach of the church. I thought I had faith, but I found a family in the patch that put my faith to shame. You sent me on a mission to thwart and destroy the patch and scatter its people, strangers within our gates. But these people aren't strangers. They're our neighbors, our brothers. Instead of building walls against them, we've got to enlarge the circle of Fairview and let them in. Now, I know that this involves much more than just making a decision. It means specific problems that have got to be solved. Problems of housing, of sanitation, and of health. I have here a plan of action, which I submit to you. It involves sacrifices on our part, work. But this is our Christian responsibility. We speak of the dangers of communism. Communism is a menace, but only because America is weakened by an even greater one. We've got to keep alive the American way of life, and we've got to make sure that it's the Christian way of life. Otherwise, in our folly, we may lose everything that we hold most dear. That's all I've got to say.
Mr. Chairman, I move a vote of censure.
This is a fine thing.
I'm so proud of you.
Say, you could have knocked me over with a feather.
Whatever made him do that?
You ask me, Ken gave us something to think about.
Right from the shoulder, too.
I didn't know the Ashbys were friends of Ken.
What made you put him out, Rita?
I don't know.
Isn't there some way we can help those poor people? Well, dear, do you think you've ruined yourself for good in Fairview?
Well, I doubt it. I made them mad, but they'll get over it. The people of Fairview made of pretty solid stuff.
After all, you found you were wrong and you admitted it, that's all.
Yes. I was wrong. But a certain young lady had to practically stick pins in me to make me see it.
I was wrong too, Dad.
You?
Mm-hmm. Me. I lost my faith in people, and in my church, and in my country. But I'm beginning to find it again now. You know, Ma Ashby showed me that I wasn't a Christian, really. I was so unloving. Even at the settlement, I hated the dirt, but I didn't really love the people.
And that's all changed now?
Oh, Dad, I'm beginning to see now. There's a big job to be done in America. But if Christ helped me through Ma Ashby, why, he can help others through us, if we help him do it. He can. Can't he, Dad?
Ma, why did Mr. Reader make us leave?
Because we're migrants. Don't you know that yet?
I don't know why he told us we'd have to go. I don't think he really wanted to.
Mr. Reader had a real nice horse. I patted its nose. It was so soft, wasn't it, Nathaniel?
Wish I could see Kenny again. That's what I wished.
It was a nice house, and we enjoyed it while we had it. We must be thankful to the Lord for giving us shelter and letting us know such lovely people.
What does that sign say, Arla?
You are leaving Fairview, a friendly town. Thank you, come again.
Where are we going now, Ma?
Well, I don't know, child. Maybe we'll find some place where we can build a better life for ourselves. We'll find something somewhere. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk in the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff,